Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This YouTube video is sponsored by StoneAgeGamer.com. StoneAgeGamer.com is your #1 source for everything related to your retro gaming experience, including new controllers and accessories from Hyperkin and Retrobit, as well as the complete Everdrive line of products by Krikzz and the complete Terra Onion collection, including the Mega SD and the Super SD System 3. Visit StoneAgeGamer.com today. Use the link down below in the description, and thank you for your support. What's up, everybody? John Schaefer, Twin Family, back at you with another video, and yet, surprise, surprise, another fucking story. Okay, this one's not a tearjerker like the Animal Crossing Switch was. This is just an exercise in what the fuck. So, in the what the fuck file. Okay, so I have a review coming up for the Everdrive GG X7, which you've seen a couple people have, but I actually received it before Mad Little Pixel, but after Retro RGB. The only reason I didn't get my video out yet was because I was still trying to get my hands on a Game Gear. So, first of all, I got my hands on a Game Gear, $10 Game Gear, okay? Which, after I show you this, is going to completely blow your mind to how well it came out. Literally from the same store that I get everything else from, Digital Press. Hopefully they're open soon, although Leonard's still working on repairs and fixing stuff up for the store in the meantime. And believe me when I tell you, I'm not going to tell you what he's got, but believe me when I tell you, when he reopens and this whole thing blows over, if it ever blows over, you're going to love what he has, and I guarantee you he's going to have something for everybody at that store. So, sold me a Game Gear. I knew it was for parts only. It was a good-looking one, just needed the sound caps replaced, which is perfect for a project Game Gear. And before we introduce this round, let's take a look at a couple of months ago when I had that Game Gear brought home. Hello? Take it away. We have another younger project for you today. Me and my pretty little nails that everybody so loves. So you've seen the Atari Lynx, you've seen how that panned out and came out beautifully. But what if I told you that that was not the end? That there's another McWill kit. Another one for something you're a little more familiar with. Because on this channel, I love to show things off that aren't so familiar to people. I like to do that first, then work my way toward the familiar. This definitely is going to be familiar to a lot of people. And this one's going to be amazing because you're going to pretty much see an almost dead system come back to life and come back roaring like a tiger. And that is the Saga Game Gear. Now, I got this from Digital Press in Springfield, like we always do. Because that store is amazing and you should totally check it out if you're in New Jersey. As you can see, the Game Gear itself is in good shape. Got the external ports still on. You got the volume, the power. A few scratches on the battery covers, but we can always take care of that. But cosmetically, it's in fantastic shape. Like, I would honestly give this thing probably an 8 out of 10. But as you can see by this post-it note from Leonard, the sound and video caps need to be replaced. And the good part is when we send this bad boy in for repair for the McWill mod, and the VGA out, and we're going to get VGA out, the capacitors are going to be replaced anyway. Because when you do the McWill kit, you have to replace all the capacitors and even remove completely certain ones, because let me see if I can peel off the sticker real quick. I'm going to try to keep it on for the installer so he can see the notes himself. But don't worry about the screen. The screen looks a little beat up as far as scratches, but this is going to be replaced with a glass lens, so no worries about that. So we're going to turn this on so you can see the before. And as you can see, the contrast is really low. And the sound is working great so far, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, if you twist the unit like this, you can see a picture, but you can pretty much see what it looks like when you need the caps replaced. And as you can see, it's definitely working. I'm going to show it working real quick. Or I don't know if this is going to show up well on camera. But you see how on here, I don't know if you can make it out, but there's lines all over here. That's the caps. And it's also the screen too. But since this is going to be replaced with a McWill screen, it's all going to be all for the best. Now, the Game Gear is an amazing system. I actually grew up with it, partially. I had the blue one growing up. Now, a lot of people are more familiar with this than the Lynx. Chances are, if you're a retro gamer, you've had one of these or knew someone that did, and I had both. I remember personally me getting mine in late 95, I want to say. My school had one, you know, to play at recess, and I fell in love with it, and I knew kids that had one. And I literally, this is around the time they started really slowing it down and discontinuing it, so I wound up getting it for like about $70. But anyway, this is basically a portable Master System, but with a better color palette. You know, that's why you can see Game Gear to SMS conversions. And obviously, if with a converter, you could play Master System games. But the thing is, it's a battery hog. And with the McWill kit, it's going to probably be around the same, just a little better. The reason why I say certain caps need to be removed completely is because this uses, I don't want to open it up, I'll let the installer do that. But this is a fluorescent light in the back here, same as the Lynx. And I mean, there's LED mods out there if you just want a better looking picture. If you don't really care about having it the crispest that you can, there are LED mods, and they look good, and they increase your battery life to about, my personal opinion, because I had one, about 12 hours, up from 5, like maybe 4 or 5 with 6 AA's. And talking with the installer, which is Retro Machine Repair, if I'm getting the name right, on eBay. He also offers an HDMI out, actually, which is $50 more, $20 more than the VGA. But the reason I'm not doing the HDMI is simply because I'd rather have the VGA for the OSSC, because then I can use it with scan lines. It's a more universal setup because, as you've seen with the Lynx, it also has a VGA out. Maybe, just maybe, down the line, I'll get a Game Gear specifically with VGA out. But I love this fucking system. I really do. But I don't love it that much that I need 2 of them that are modded. So, and these things are a dime a dozen. Like, I literally was able to get this parts only for $10. That's insane. And you can literally find this with the caps replaced for $30. You know, as cheap as 30, I should say. Because there was 11 million of these, whereas the Lynx, there's maybe only a couple million. So, and also the demand for Game Gear isn't that high. You can still get a lot of good Game Gear games for like under $10. Like Digital Press, they have like hundreds of carts for the Game Gear loose, and there's like 1 or 2 carts, Triple Trouble included, which is my favorite game on the Game Gear, that go for more than $10. Everything is usually between $5 and $6. So even if you don't use the Everdrive, it's a good deal for Game Gear. But like I said, with the Master System converter, you can also play Master System games on here. But we'll be having an Everdrive for this thing hopefully soon, and maybe even a little peek at a new product. Can't promise nothing. But yeah, such a good system I have so many memories with. And this is going to be even better. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm just looking at it and all, but so many of my childhood memories are coming back. So, and by the way, one thing I should mention is that the McWill mod does not, and I repeat, does not work on the Majesco Game Gear, which is, I think, VA 5 and 6. And the way to tell that it's a Majesco Game Gear is you see, as I said in my Yestercades video, you see where these 3 colors are on the Majesco Game Gear, they're all white. So that's how you can tell off the bat you got a Majesco Game Gear. So to recap, get it? I made it funny. Okay, that was corny. Okay, so to recap, what we're going to do with this thing is we are going to get it modded, and that includes all new capacitors, because you've seen the post-it note sound and video caps, so all the caps need to be replaced. Some are going to be removed in the modification, and the backlight's going to be removed. So that little tent is, you know, the little aluminum tent's going to be removed. The fluorescent light's going to be removed. Now, by the way, think of this fluorescent light that's above us as we're shooting the video. Now, figure a tiny version that's about, let's see my fingers, that's about this big. And that's literally the fluorescent light that's in the system. So that's going to be all taken out, ripped out. Screen's going to be completely ripped out and replaced with the McWill screen. We're going to have a glass lens here. VGA out, which the guy does on the bottom. So basically I'll have the VGA cord and be able to use this. Now, definitely got to see if he can do some cleaning on the pressure pads or whatever while he's got it open. Another thing that this person actually does, which we're not getting done, is he actually makes a controller mod, which if I would have paid for the HDMI mod would have been included in the price. But the reason I'm not getting that done either is because you lose functionality of the left battery pack, and after that's done you'll have to rely on either the AC adapter or the Game Gear power bank. And I want to be able to take this out of the house with me to conventions. I want to be able to say when I go to New York, I love to be able to take this with me. Because even with the VGA sticking out a little bit, you can still put it in a case. So I want this portable as well. So basically the whole reason behind this is a better screen out to the TV, but also keep it portable. So now, before I introduce you the finished product, okay, what I want to do is tell you what happened. So around the same time I want to get the links done, there was 2 people that I had lined up to do work. One did that links that you've seen, which I've since sold to help pay for the Animal Crossing Switch. The other was a guy by the name of, a couple of names that he went under. The one I knew him by was Jason Luke. Oh boy, let me tell you something about that motherfucker. Goes by the name of Retro Game Repair. And I guess I just happened to catch the fucking guy when he's on his way out or having a breakdown. Now, I don't joke about having breakdowns. Never have, never will. Always feel bad for those people that do, because believe me, like I said, I go through it myself. However, unfortunately, there are some people out there who do use mental illness, mental health problems as an excuse, which I don't like. Because it's bad enough, mental health in this country is still a little bit taboo. It's bad enough to get the help you need or people to take us seriously still. Without people, I'm not going to say him because I don't know fully his situation. I just know what I've seen. So let me get that out of the way. Without certain people that ruin it for everyone else. And all you got to do, by that means certain people, is look up almost any celebrity that claims exhaustion or mental health issues when in reality they've been drinking too much. That is like the perfect example that I can give. Now, like I said, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. All I know is my own experience. So anyway, I sent my Game Gear in to him. And that was a nice chunk of change, by the way. It was $200 to get done, which was literally a month's a month's pay after, like I said, food, bills, what have you. So that's a lot of fucking money on a mod. So I sent him the Game Gear. And by the way, that's including the screen and everything. And screen, glass lens, cap replacement. I was also supposed to get some games and an AC adapter. Because Game Gear games are cheap, so sometimes these installers, they have a backlog. They just go to garage sales and shit, and they buy a whole bunch of cartridges. And, you know, they just include a few common titles, but still would have been something to check it out before the Everdrive showed up. But surprisingly, the Everdrive wound up showing up before the whole fucking shit showed up, because he never wound up doing it. So he got my Game Gear on a Saturday, and all I wanted to know, I sent him a message, and he was doing fine, communicating with me before. All I wanted to know was, hey, did you get the Game Gear? Did it arrive safely? Because, you know, USPS, they're like savages when it comes to packages. Even if you mark it fragile, they'll still find a way to damage it. So, no response. So I went to ring him up Wednesday. I gave him a few days. Because he said he was busy, and at the time, and keep this in mind, at the time, he said a 5-day turnaround, which meant that he would get it on Saturday. Now, you don't count weekends, you count business days, which means my Game Gear should have been ready that Friday. So I go to send him a message Wednesday, because he still hasn't gotten back to me, even just to check on to make sure it showed up. Obviously, I know it did, but I want to make sure it showed up in one piece. You know? So I go to email him on eBay, and I couldn't send him a message. I'm like, what the fuck? Did he block me? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Come to find out, I look at his profile, no longer a registered user. So I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So I just put in a case right then and there, because usually when you're not a registered user on eBay no more, they kicked you off. Either that or you closed your account yourself. A lot of times it's because eBay kicked you off for some reason. So I don't know what the fuck the issue was. So I just wanted an answer. You know, an answer on my money back. Because if he's no longer registered on eBay, clearly he's not going to do the fucking job. You're right. So after I put in the case on the Resolution Center, because it was 2 separate purchases, because that's how I had to do it if I wanted the VGA connector, which I obviously need to because of the review. And I was on a time crunch, because at the time the Everdrive was supposed to show up in 2 weeks. So, and I've had the Everdrive for a month already. So what happened was I went on Facebook in the retro modding group, just to simply, I didn't name him, I just simply said, hey, I need someone to do a Game Gear for me with the VGA, because at the time I just bought another screen kit from Retro Modding. And what happened was I just said the hell with it, bought a screen kit, and you know, I hope for the best, because I I didn't know if Leonard was taking any repairs at the time, because I know he said he had a huge backlog, and I didn't know by the time that I was trying to get it done and beat some other people to the punch, as you're supposed to do on YouTube. So I literally just put a message in, hey, I'm looking for someone to mod my Game Gear, preferably someone that has the screen in stock, which I know a few of those people do. Can anyone help me out? I was supposed to get one done from eBay, and the guy disappeared. Without a blink of the eye, literally 5 minutes later, somebody texted me, oh, is this the guy you're talking about? And I said, yeah. Oh, well, I know where he's at. He's here on Facebook. Here's his profile. Okay, cool. So I text him. I'm like, okay, I found you, motherfucker. What's going on? Because you don't just, especially this guy had 100% positive feedback. Never had a single complaint. And it's not like he was a new user. He was on there for quite some time. And especially he told me before this when we were talking about it, which is why he skipped the links, because he said, oh, you know, I'm not doing so well, and, you know, just message me whatever to get the total when, you know, you get paid. And I did, and that was the month previous, but he never wound up getting back to me, and I needed the links done, and this Mirror Technology guy only had there's only 5 days until he went on vacation, and he basically told me if I got it in by that Friday, he would have it shipped out that Monday. So I just went with the other guy, and I was like, you know what, I'll just have him do the Game Gear. You know, give one person a job, the other person a job. Everybody's happy. But anyway, I messaged him like, dude, what's going on? What the hell's going on? You know, you didn't message me. Your eBay account's completely closed. What's going on? You know, where's my stuff? You know, I emailed you on Saturday asking, did you get it and did it arrive safe? What's going on? Basically, like, look, what's going on? Trying to be nice about it. And he started coming up with this story of, oh, well, you know, they shut, you know, these people. And anytime you say these people, usually it's a conspiracy theory of some kind. Oh, well, these people closed my eBay account. These people closed my Facebook, which is stupid because apparently he's still talking to me through eBay. Because I saw that he saw my messages on Facebook but didn't even respond there. So I'm like, okay, I was like, what the fuck? I'm here on Messenger. Talk to me here. And then he just talked to me through the resolution center, which I thought was stupid. And at the same time as this is going on, this literally happened over like a couple days, mind you. Over that couple days, as I'm talking to this fucking guy, and all I'm wanting is an update, which he refuses to give me. He just says, okay, you're going to get it done. I'm like, okay, but, you know, we agreed on 5 days. You know, can you at least do that? You know, because I don't know what the fuck happened, you know? So, in that meantime that I'm talking to this guy, I get a few people messaging me, not only in the topic, but in private on Facebook Messenger to tell me, hey, look, you know, this guy has my system too, and he skipped. Or, I got work done recently and it wasn't done right, and he's giving me the runaround. Basically telling me that in the past couple of months leading up to him leaving, that he's started to rip people off, which now is concerning me. And I'm a person that needs to get to the bottom of everything, so I do. And I tell him, I'm like, look, I've heard from people, I'm not the only person you've done this to. You've also done this to other people. Here's how it's going to go. I either want a refund, and I want my stuff sent back to me, because time was against me, or I want it done by our agreed to date. And I even gave him a couple extra days to do it. So instead of Friday, I said, okay, I either want my money back or I want it done by that Monday. I'm giving you a couple extra days. I'd rather have the job done because, you know, money's tight right now with everybody. You obviously need this work. just do it, right? Because especially since he had the screen in stock, I didn't want him to lose money on that. So surprisingly, later Wednesday into Thursday morning, which would be a day and a half, because all this started happening on Tuesday night, I get a refund for both. And this long-winded message of how I'm difficult and how I'm detrimental to his mental health. And he went on fucking Facebook, you know, and all of a sudden he joined this group. And he was blasting every single person that basically had an issue with him, including me. But I wasn't going to stand for that. So I blasted him back, and I wound up blocking him on Facebook and all this childish bullshit. But I got the screen for retro modding, surprisingly. And I bit the bullet because retro modding has had some issues recently where customers weren't getting their orders. But come to find out, the reason why they weren't and why they were getting stopped at the border wasn't because of the coronavirus. Why they were being stopped at the border was because they were using Nintendo IP. You know, which is like the Game Boy glass lens, like I showed you with the Suicune unit. That's why it was getting held up. But my Game Gear kit didn't, because it's Saga, and Saga doesn't give a shit. It's just the screen. It doesn't use any Saga branding. And the glass lens I got off of eBay. So mine came through within a week, which was greatly appreciated. I do recommend them for that. I still hope they make things right with those other people. But for me personally, I placed the order of retro modding from Montreal, Quebec to New Jersey. I got it in a week. So kudos to them for that. So I just said, fuck it. I had Leonard do it because Leonard actually, you know, we agreed on $100 for it, which I got the refund for that. So I just said, okay, you know, it just cost me another $25 extra, which I didn't give a shit at that point. I just wanted it done. To my surprise, and I will give this guy all the credit in the world for that. After we fought, after everything that happened, I guess, you know, he wanted to make it up to me. I don't know, but I went to unpack the Game Gear box because I needed it for something else that I sold. I needed to reuse that box that I packed. Inside, not only was my Game Gear, but a screen kit still sealed. The screen kit, the screen and the VGA adapter, sealed. Along with a note that basically apologized for everything, and basically it was a token of goodwill, him sending me the screen and the refund. So I got to give my hat off to him. And Jason, if you're watching this, you're good with me, man, on that. I mean, you didn't have to do that at all. I could have understood if you didn't. I didn't expect it. I'm glad you did. I didn't expect it because I already have the screen. But I do want you to make things right with those other people that have complained about you. You know, I'm not the only person that is upset with you. And I'm hoping, even if you're right and you said this is going to be your last mod, make things right with people, because there's enough thieves in the retro community. We don't need any more, man. You know, that guy, especially the guy that you bought your Nomad and it doesn't work. Please, you know, just please try to fix it for him, or, you know, send him to a modder that can. And I sent them along to Leonard. Hopefully Leonard looked at it. But as far as you and me, we're good on that. So I appreciate the hell out of you for that. So, by the way, even though I have another screen kit, it didn't go to waste, because I actually got my Game Gear done for nothing. Because, you know, I made a deal with Leonard because we're friends and shit like that. And so he's not going to do it for everybody. Don't, you know, go up to him and say, hey, can you do my Game Gear for nothing if I give? No. He only did it for me because I'm a constant customer. We're basically friends, and you know, I did him a favor because he was looking for a kit. So I basically just gave him the spare one that Jason gave me, and he just did the work on my Game Gear, didn't charge me, and now he's got the screen kit for whoever either asked him for it, or I'm sure he's going to, or worst come to worst, I'm sure he's going to make one to sell when the store reopens, which either way, I wouldn't have a problem with. And by the way, congrats to Leonard, as Leonard just got engaged a couple days ago, so kudos to that, man. Hope you have a good long life with her, treat her right. Hope she treats you right. But anyway, enough talk. This video's getting long enough. What we have here is my buddy's Game Gear. And of course, this is why, because I got the cord here, so I don't waste 6 AA batteries on this motherfucker. Yes, it takes 6 AA's. Just to remind you, because I was using this to test the Everdrive out before the Game Gear mod got done, to have some play around time with it. But this is what a Game Gear looks like pre-modded, okay? His got the LED lights in here and all that fun stuff, so he uses a lot less battery. He doesn't have a glass lens, he just still has the regular Saga plastic lens. So let's turn this on. Let's try that again, because I didn't have the volume all the way up. And obviously this has the caps replaced. But this is what a Game Gear screen looks like before. I mean, not the greatest. You could still see it. But, you know, just in the contrast, it's not the best looking screen in the world. That was before. Sorry, Louie. This is after. This is my Game Gear. Let's look at this. Glass screen. You can tell the nail test, as I like to call it. Looks clean as hell, you know, especially for this, since this is just a parts unit. At one point, sitting in a box, this is not bad at all. The only thing with the glass lens is sometimes it's ill-fitting on the top, you know, because remember, it's meant more for a curved screen, but this is a glass screen, and still not bad looking, especially for a parts unit. Of course, you got the VGA here because it is a McWill screen. I'm not sure if BenVen makes one for the Game Gear, but even then, BenVen doesn't have VGA out. So this is how you're going to see the game capture footage for the Everdrive X7. So when I give it some juice, I turn it on. Watch that. Look at that. By the way, Lewis's doesn't have the license screen on it. So that's why you've seen the blue screen on mine, but not on his. But listen to that sound. All new caps, by the way. Same with his, but look at that screen. So much better. And when we do start on 1 and 2, we put the scan lines on, which make it look like now like a legit Game Gear. Starting 1 and 2 again. I guess it has to plug in. Oh, that's. Oh, I'm sorry. It's different. Okay. It's got different modes. See, look. So it's got this mode, which fills the regular Game Gear screen. Starting 1 and 2 again. I'm trying to fucking do this. Excuse me. I guess you gotta do this. No. I'm trying to do. Oh, there we got the scan lines. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Holy shit. I guess that has different. Oh, yeah, the scan lines are gone. So that's a different mode. Now it's got scan lines back on, but it fills the screen a little more. Because these game Game Gear games are hard to press. So anyway, now we got a more screen filling mode. Now we got that with scan lines. Now we got it in like a sort of a widescreen mode. Right there. And we got it back to regular. Jesus, these buttons suck. I can't blame Leonard for that. That's the Game Gear. Jesus Christ. Well, thank God I'll be using the regular screen resolution from here on out. But still, it's good to have a lot of choices. I wish there was like a separate button for this shit. So, for your first look at the Everdrive Game Gear X7, and we're going to show you some example of that, of which now I can play this around fully because there's a better Game Gear. Now, obviously I need to do the fat sorter for this. I don't even know the last game I played. Oh, SG-1000. Huh. I guess I got to change the button combination on the Everdrive. Options. Yeah, up. Oh, okay, it's up in 1 and 2. All right. That's what I forgot for the Everdrive. They block out the start button for some stupid reason. All right, so we're going to click to world. As you can see, the Everdrive works perfectly with this mod. Look how beautiful this looks. Oh, man. I think there's an issue with the buttons, actually. Because, unless the menu... Oh, that's right, I turned the menu off. My stupid ass. Great job, John. Yeah, I turned the menu off. Sorry about that. So, I kind of fucked up on that one. But I want to try with an SMS game real quick. See how it looks with an SMS game. Now, I wish for the Everdrive, personally, I will tell you this. I wish it had the... FM built in. I mean, if it's supposed to be the Pro and supposed to be, that's supposed to be literally the same as the Master System one. Still getting the hang of this. So this is what a Master System game looks like. Why is it doing the back to menu shit? That's weird. Hold on a second, guys. You're figuring out just the same as me. Okay, so the in-game menu's off. So there should be no problems. There we go. So you got Phantasy Star there. So even the SMS games look amazing on here. So literally with the McWill, you got the best looking Game Gear. And don't forget, it's a portable Master System. And with the Everdrive, you literally have a portable Master System and a Game Gear with all the games. And also plays SG-1000. Not bad for a little piece of kit, and especially since the McWill mod for the Game Gear is relatively cheap compared to, say, the Lynx or the Nomad. There's people that sell this on eBay if you don't need the VGA. Obviously, we do need the VGA because we're going to be filming gameplay footage. But if you don't, you can find one of these pre-modded for about $250 all day long, because there were millions of these. And hell, I got 2 right here. There were millions of these, and the caps always go bad on these fucking things. So literally, there are millions of these waiting to be fixed. Like I said, I got mine for $10 simply because it was a fixer-upper. I wanted to get it fixed. So for $10, you can buy a parts game gear, and that's usually what they go for. You can buy a parts one, because obviously you're going to replace the screen. Screen's $7. You're going to get the McWill mod kit, and the McWill mod, if you could find it, retro modding should still have some, for $120. And then you pay somebody to get it modded. If I was going to get it without the VGA, it would have been, I believe, $75. And it's $25 extra to install the VGA. And Leonard explained to me the reason why the cost is so high is because installing it is a pain in the ass. So make sure you get a modder who is both experienced enough and comfortable enough to work on this. Because as you can see, wait a minute, I need to put the power back in. This is the result. And it's a sweet looking piece of kit. So when I'm not glued with Animal Crossing, now I got to deal with this. I'm good for quarantine now. I just got to go to the grocery store once in a while, and I should be good. So, from us to you, happy quarantine. And by the way, expect a full review of the Everdrive N8. I mean, not the N8. Yeah, Everdrive Game Gear X7. There we go. Mouthful. Expect a full review of that in the coming weeks. Expect some gameplay footage. Expect an overview. I still got to wrap up the review for the Everdrive N8 Pro because it's starting to come out more. I got a lot of the gameplay footage I wanted to show up, which is good. Trying to roll along here, especially since we're going to be stuck in the house for a while. So, take care. Be safe. And most importantly, take care of your head. Because you may be able to escape a virus, but you'll never be able to escape the monster in your head. Take care.